I love that little part that comes in. Hey, it's all funk until that little 80s rolls in right there.
Is that the Outlaw?
No, that's just a time. That's a timestamp.
It's a timestamp.
That's like
It's like wrap it up, dog.
Yeah.
well, it's just like an 80s timestamp. Like,
It's like useless guitar solo is finished.
yeah, for no
now.
reason, they just dropped a synthesizer in there to let you know this was from an 80s movie.
Yeah, because otherwise it might be one of those pieces of music.
This could have been from the 60s, right up to that point.
There you go.
Could you imagine how embarrassed you'd be if you accidentally thought that song was from the 60s, bro?
Sweet, bro. Dude. It's probably actually really new because they had to put it into the software.
For sure.
But whatever.
Brand new.
But for your story, I can appreciate what you're trying to say.
I'm just telling you, that's what it sounds like. For sure. It's not a story.
You don't mislabel musical,
It sounds like they got a little solo by Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds. Drop it in there.
There you go.
In this band, his name was Lamont. I do remember that. In Outlaw Funk.
Oh, it was.
It's the same guy. He just
Changed
was
it up just a
Lamar
little
on
bit.
screen, Lamont on wax.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
On the ivory key.
Mixed to master. Yeah.
Well, here we go. That's John Watkins right there. Fireball Watkins.
Yeah. And I forgot the Fireball. I'm sitting here with no Fireball. What in the
Is
world?
it here?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's in the
here.
house.
There's about 40 gallons over
Well,
there.
go ahead and get it.
Go ahead and get it.
Give it- I don't
we
want to
got
miss
this.
what you're going to say about Nick.
No, it's sugar balls. It's just sugar balls.
Yeah.
If you want to
Sugar
see,
Ball's black.
if you play your cards right, you'll find out why they call
Yeah.
it sugar balls.
You know, it's funny. I got a message,
Go.
like somebody sent me a message today about the show, and it started like when you open Messenger and it says, "Hey, Sugar Balls, what's up?"
Perfect.
A lot of different spellings going on with sugar.
Yeah, we
Sugar
don't
and
have the
balls.
spelling down yet, but we're getting there.
Well, yeah, it'll find its way.
Yeah.
The correct spelling will find its way.
We
That's Kevin Kelly in the middle.
That's right.
Kevin,
I don't think you said anything about yourself. I
no,
mean,
because he don't want us to say
can't
his
talk about
nickname.
yourself.
scared to death about that nickname making it to the daylight.
Kevin,
KD80 Kelly.
Gay D80.
Yeah.
Hey, there is one for sale. Somebody sent it to me again.
Rockmart.
the one with the green fender.
No, this is a full red one, and it's got like Olin's gold shocks on the back for $800. Thing's pristine. It's
Where?
So we're
in
where?
Bessemer, Alabama.
That's probably not that far. The one we were,
Bessemer's 4 hours. I can tell you. Did you never race at Bessemer, Alabama?
no.
I raced at Bessemer, Alabama one time.
Kilpatrick?
No, it was Bessemer MX. One of those beautiful tracks that you find in the back of
The Fox ad from the 90s.
Really?
no,
Dream
soccer,
On?
whatever.
Oh, the in the calendar of events.
In the calendar of events,
Oh,
right?
for real?
Well, it's not like they'd have a website back in the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah, we used to submit our stuff. I would do that.
On Snapchat.
And so we drive 4 hours in the race van over to, which was a old Scooby-Doo Econoline Ford.
Oh, flat
And the
nose.
cruise control was that the throttle stuck. So we would just put it to the floor and let the throttle stick and go all the way
And
out
then you
there.
start talking and you forget. And you
Yeah.
go to hit the brakes and the thing's fighting you.
So, it top out about 84. Yeah, that was about all I
That's
had.
pretty fast in a
So,
van.
in a van, it's all squishy, and
Yeah, the
you
thing
feel
got
that.
a lot of roll.
We
Yeah, I
weren't
ain't about
very
that.
old, so we were kids. And so we get over there. First off, the track was like 4 180s, you know what I mean? Just switchbacks. And then about a third of a mile sweeping straightaway
Oh,
from
no.
one set of the 180s all the way back into that again. So it was
Ew.
like
That
turn,
sounds terrible.
like
Sweeper.
6 turns.
Turn.
And then sixth gear, wide open.
That's high side
That
city right
sounds
there.
terrible.
No, listen. So this was in the 80s, and they were running a three-wheeler class, three-wheeler.
Hell yeah, they were.
So we get there, we're watching practice, and here comes a guy on an ATC 250X.
Donald Hank Banks.
Donald
Flying.
Eugene Banks.
Like you said, sounds like a high side. He high sides.
On a three-wheeler?
Yes, can't get it. I bet the three-wheeler's going 20 feet in the air, and it's chasing him down like he's got a
Yes.
homing beacon on him.
No, it's a jet ski tether. They come
It's
for
got to
you.
return to
Yeah, they come for you.
return to sender.
It's every time he's rolling, and this thing every time it bounces off him. Pow, and then just keeps
oh,
going.
no.
Can't get away from it.
I mean, what do those things weigh? Are they like
I don't know.
350.
three? Yeah, they're way over three.
I'm not sure he survived. They took him off an ambulance.
Those things are so cattywampus. Like they're just designed to just toss you the hell off, like
Hey,
immediately.
When we got there, when we were pulling up to pull in and sign in, there was a door, like an old door, and it was spray painted. It said, "Ride at your own risk." R-I-S-T.
I thought he was gonna say Rick's.
That's even better. At your
Right
own
at your
risk.
wrist.
And you might break your damn wrist.
Yeah,
here.
wrist, dude.
That is awesome.
And knowing he pronounced it like that.
We
He's
saw-
the one that took the wrist. He the one gonna pay the fine.
All right, come on up here for the riders meeting. This here is the standard rules and regulations up here at Bessemer Motor X.
Bessemer Motor X.
We like as soon as we pull up, my buddy's mom and dad were with us in the van,
Let me guess.
and she said,
And
Come
she
on,
thought
dude.
Nick was hot.
"No,
and we
no,
had-
no, this
yeah.
is like my second mother. That's not even funny." And so, but she saw,
Oh,
Serious
my bad.
this
She
time.
said-
He's doing it to my neighbor last weekend. That's cool.
but she,
Christina Haney, I'm trying to defend your honor. Nick's over here.
Was it her sister or was it her?
I'm surprised. Yeah, it was him, her, and her. But I don't know the specifics. Nick's never said what happened, so we're done with that.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're
back to
done
your
with
race.
that. That's why we didn't bring it up.
I'm not talking about that anymore.
Right.
Nick wasn't trying to.
I never kiss and tell more than once.
Exactly.
So back to your race with the three-wheeler guys. Is that
Anyway,
it?
as soon as we saw the sign that said wrist, R-I-S-T,
That's
the mom was like, "We're leaving. We're not staying for this
They
shit."
can't even spell
They
it
can't
right.
spell wrist.
you drove
They
4
don't have no
hours to
wrist.
turn around
And we're
because
like,
of a spelling.
of course, we're
No
not
way you
leaving.
left.
We go in there, we're getting like ready. Practice starts. Here comes the guy on the three-wheeler that just gets demolished.
His
at
wrist.
70 miles an hour. And she's like, "Are y'all sure you want to stay?"
Did y'all stay?
We did stay.
Please tell
Yeah.
me it at least had good dirt or something.
I don't remember. I was you
Say that means it had
back
bad
then.
dirt.
Nobody even prepped the track. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know,
you're
but
right.
you knew when it was a good.
It wasn't.
We used to
anything
go to
that-
Talking Rock, and I remember it was me, Kyle Ken. I may have told this story, but we
That's
went
the one
there.
where you had to park on the dirt road and like walk to the track. 'cause
Talking Rock. I think it was Talking Rock, but
Yeah.
this could have been before whoever owns it now, because whoever's doing it now, like they
Now
do a
it's
nice
fine.
job.
Back in
But
the day,
then,
it was a
that-
dirt road
The
going
dude's
to
like,
it.
"We're gonna sprinkle some hay out for the dust, and we'll get you on the track here in a little bit." They was just out
Hay.
hand throwing hay.
But hay'll make it slippery.
Hay does nothing.
Yeah, but it will make
Except
it a
hide
little more
everything.
slippery.
It hides
Yeah.
everything. Like if you just see a sea of hay,
Put
there's
a
just
bunch in that
and it's a
hole
sea of-
over there,
It's a-
Billy.
yeah, it's like a bear trap. You just
right.
covered over.
Hey,
Yeah, just pin it.
deadfall.
Well, so Tunnel Hill had that. They had a buried Volkswagen in one straightaway, and it was just powdered dust that they had slicked the dust down. And man, I'm in fourth gear going up that hill, and that hit that Volkswagen.
They don't make a tire for
and it
Volkswagen?
just swapped for no reason on a. It looked like
Oh,
it
there
was
was a
smooth.
reason.
Yeah, there was a reason. There was a beetle.
damn
and
bikes aren't equipped to handle.
yeah, there's a
buggy.
setting. Punch bug.
Every
It
lap.
punched back.
That punch back. So we got Cooper Webb on tonight. We've been trying to get Coop on.
Cooper, is he still racing?
What's the
think
name of
so.
this show?
How's he
I-
doing this year?
It's
he
Winners
won
Take
Oh,
this
this is
week?
Winners Take Y'all.
Yeah, so he won this week. Oh, that's
They're
cool.
saying he won.
They say he won. Well,
And
so-
would not do any interviews,
except
but he
for
was
this one.
willing to do this one.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like why he would do our show and not. We'll ask him. You know, what's the scoop on that? I'll have to wear.
He was mad.
Get me old readers. Well, I don't know. I wonder what he's
mad
upset about,
for
but
winning.
A lot of fines this year, man.
I
don't remember
know,
this
they're
many
handing
years.
them out.
Like you see the race report, fine report from each week. It's like, oh,
It's
there
pretty
we go.
long.
And that's an AMA thing. So that's
Fines.
Pelletier
Oh,
and the boys.
They're okay.
Yeah, they're literally. I'd love to know what the fine was. We'll ask him.
It can't be much because he knows about the fine before it. He
I thought you were talking
Consciously.
about girls, like when you have a group of girls.
well, she
that's
was
what you call
fine.
them.
I think we
You
would say
call them
fine.
like a group's called fines.
Oh, if there's multiple.
Yes,
Man, look
fines.
at all them fines over
Look
there.
at that. You just say, look at that fines. That's like
Yeah.
a herd of fines.
Shoot, I'm gonna get mines. Look at all them fines. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't never heard that.
What, that you're gonna get mine? Get
No,
mines?
I just always heard, oh, she's fine.
She's
I've heard that.
fine.
Yeah, but what if there's plural?
What if there's a
multiple.
bunch of them? They're fines.
Like deers.
Look at all them fines.
It's a herd of fine women.
deers?
I don't know.
It's just like when you see a bunch of deers.
Don't question the math, Kevin.
I'm not. I'm not gonna question
Multiple-
anything from you when it comes to women. That's for sure.
No, you don't. Because he knows. If there's anybody that knows, it's Nicholas. So go ahead.
So, I mean, winners take y'all. I don't know. Who do we have last week? Jason Wygant,
That's terrible.
And Mike
Mike
Mewey.
Mewey. Yeah.
director of Supercross. So
it was
that
just
was
a
fun.
minute
That was
ago.
entertaining.
Well, and I think we were kind of freaking Mike Mewey out. I wanted to ask him more questions. I mean, I could go for days about how they had to have had altercations with building owners, and I
Oh,
know
yeah.
he's not going to broadcast that, but I would love to know that. Like how be like,
They had
man,
a fist fight with Arthur Blank.
exactly. I want to hear that story about what did y'all do to make that guy mad? Because we're not going back. We're not even going to Atlanta Motor Speedway. And he says, "Hey, that's a market we haven't hit, Birmingham.
You know what?
Let's
We
hit
had
it."
some
But
technical
God,
difficulties.
Atlanta's 40 times the size of Birmingham.
I know
We
we
had
got like
some-
7 million people here.
Yeah, and I saw
So
them
I
all
don't-
today in traffic.
Yeah, Nick was behind. 7 million people.
We had some technical difficulties before we had time to ask him. Like, I was going to throw in Atlanta for a playoff round.
Not happening.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like, are you talking about like SMX?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, they took our round. They could at least give us a playoff.
well, I just wasn't buying we just want to get to that market when it's seriously not even, I don't know, it's not even half.
No,
I
it's
don't
not
think.
even
it's,
half the
yeah, I'm
size
sure
of-
it's
Probably 25%.
you are in that market. This is that market.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta reaches that market
It reaches
in North
Birmingham
Carolina and South Carolina.
So maybe
and
that's
Tennessee
his
and-
reason, but
Nah, I think it just didn't work out.
yeah, but that's what I want to know why. Who did they?
He's not
Something
gonna tell you,
happened. I know
unfortunately.
he's
I
not,
know.
but I would
Is there a
love to
regular
know.
round in Charlotte this year?
No, there's one in
Charlotte, you could hear his
There's one. Is
southern.
that one of them fine races in Charlotte? I say.
I say, boy. Yeah. Charlotte, no.
No, they haven't won in Charlotte in a minute, right?
Well,
I mean, the
SMX playoff,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but
sorry,
not a
the
true
Speedway.
supercross.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean Nashville will be fun. Birmingham will be fun. Those are two close races. I will say this: Nashville has the potential to be the best round on the entire circuit. I did it when it came to town. I think it's been here twice, right?
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
One year was a major
It is all
rainstorm.
yes, but it's walking distance to Music Row, all the hotels.
We're
Dude,
going
it's
to Nashville
dope,
this year,
dude.
right?
It is awesome.
I don't know,
Better
Nick.
put that on
I'm
your
getting
list.
on that next.
Oh, you got a sheet.
I got to
of
have a
paper there
bigger
for-
sheet of paper for all of.
There's a lot of races
We're
we
doing
need to
this.
do. Like you guys are wanting to do, and then I have to announce, and y'all want to go to, and you got some adventure rides. You got a year ahead of you, dude. Y'all,
Yeah, and I'm over
Busiest
here
year
like I
all
don't
time.
really want to.
Here he goes.
I love riding motorcycles.
This guy.
I love riding motorcycles more than anything.
I'm gone for half a day. Now he's backing out on it. Now
I'm not backing
I'm
out.
gonna have to twist his arm into everything.
I'm not
again.
backing out. I just that's a daunting list.
Every day his wife gets up and is like, "Nick's on the phone. Get your ass out of bed."
It's go time. Yeah, we got to get Kyle in on that. Like I told him again, day in the dirt. That is he's done it, so he knows how it works.
Yeah.
Like it's all of us need to go to that. All of us need to go to Vintage Motorcycle
How is
Days.
Kyle? Is he the kind that can ride a motorcycle and accept that, hey, I'm not going to go as fast as I can go? Because, Kyle could still go fast if he wanted
He'll
to.
go fast for 2 laps.
But
Well,
does-
that's the great thing about some of those team races. You go a lap, like you just go a lap, hand it off, chill
Yeah.
out for a bit.
yeah.
There's
But-
there's two
But
of
now
those,
the laps
right?
are long. Yeah, the laps.
There's 7 or 8.
But can he
minutes, right?
find
Yeah.
joy in riding a motorcycle just to be riding it rather than being on
Yes.
his limit? He
I
can't.
feel like he had a good time that when we all went and rode the Starks and just the camaraderie that comes with it. It's not like he's just going to the track,
Yeah, no.
unloading, loading up, and coming home. This
when
is
we
a
went
event.
to Gatorback, he had fun. I mean, he gets frustrated because he's only in shape to do 2 laps.
But I'll
You know
say
what I mean?
this: Kyle's a socialite like me, so getting ready,
So
talking
just
about it,
hanging out.
going there, doing it, hanging out after, before, all that
Because
stuff means
honestly,
something
as you
to him.
get older,
That's what it's all about.
you
anyway,
can't
dude.
ride a motorcycle to be fast anymore. Some people
Not
do.
unless you're
Obviously,
Mike Brown. Correct.
Yeah, or Earl May or any of the John Grueys, all those names. But if you're someone who
You
life
better
got in
accept
the
it,
way,
or you better accept being in plaster of Paris. I know that's an old term, kids, but you're going to be in a cast all the
well,
time.
there's also people who won't even get on the bike because they don't want to ride it unless they can ride
But I
it
can't
properly.
do it this way. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I get that too. But
dude, there
if I
needs to
can't
be
win
a
the B class, I'm not riding anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
exactly.
But
there-
it's easier. I do believe this. I think somebody like me that's never been fast, I enjoy riding motorcycles than a lot of guys that were fast because they look at it a way. Like
I think
they're-
you have more fun than they ever do
100%.
because Nick has no expectation. He just gets on the bike.
Yes, these dudes do that. Whenever they're done, they're always like, "Man, it's like," and I'm like, "How are you having any fun?" That's
They're not.
that's a great point.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, no, because I have no expectations. I'm going out there
Yeah.
to have a good time.
You're just having a good day, and
I
I've
don't
tried
care
to
if I
learn
get-
that from you.
I don't care if I get first or 50th. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? As long as somebody's out there, or even if they're not, I'm just having a good time. You know
well,
what I mean?
and that is that's kind of a refreshing.
These are your riding buddies. I'm telling you, you need these. You're the riding buddies that everybody needs.
Yeah.
Well, because when you get down to it, it's a privilege to ride a dirt bike, right?
At this age, to do
Yes.
anything,
Yeah, to still be
physical,
doing
to be
it
in your
for
50s
sure.
and
It's
dick
a
around.
privilege at any point now because it's freaking
I'm
expensive.
49.
You know, he'll be 50. When is your?
April 1st.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's right. We'll go do Nashville for.
But
your
you're
birthday.
right. I mean,
But
that's the thing, Nick.
I mean, it's a privilege
it's
to
a
do it now
privilege.
because it's expensive, right? I mean,
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of reasons why. Like, it's awesome where we live. It's awesome. The riding's great. The dirt's great. That to get the privilege to ride and Some
Yeah.
places you can't even ride, like other countries. So I know we're
I just
getting
don't
out of
get
whack
twisted
here.
with like if I, if I think I should have been fourth and I'm eighth.
Those bullshit.
Yeah, I don't get all. I'm still
Those
out
days
there
are
having a
done.
good time.
There, and it's hard for some people to turn loose of those days,
Yeah.
those the old expectations against the new 50-year-old body.
Dude, those are great questions probably for Cooper Webb. Not right now because he still expects to win, but there's still guys that like Kyle Chisholm is not the same Kyle Chisholm he was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Nor is Justin Bogle or some of these Colt Nichols, some of these other guys. Like, how have they adjusted to going, all right, I'm an eighth. On a good day, I'm a seventh place dude, and I got to be good with that. Shane
you have
McElrath
to-
was a winner.
Yeah.
And now he's having to readjust his expectations.
But
Well, AC is famous for having to do midweek therapy sessions to deal with the pro career he has received so far. We all know he could win,
yeah,
and he knew he could win, and then he didn't win everything he thought he would win.
I mean, that's Jet Reynolds is about to experience that when he lines up in Detroit. Like that kid was on a clip to eclipse everybody, the all-time winningest, whatever. And then, dude, he just hit a roadblock with injuries, and I always wonder how dudes recover from that stuff.
Well, I
man.
think it's hard on most people mentally. It's kind of what I'm talking about right here. Is not that a current pro should adjust, but I'm just saying the general average motocross racer who gets older. It's part of why me and Nick both have a fleet of motorcycles. Yeah, we like to ride moto. You can't do it all the time because it hurts. And so, but you can get on that trail bike, or maybe you get on that adventure bike and just keep riding, man.
But you think now that some of the guys are taking, I think, a little bit more of that Zen attitude because, like Faulkner, we talked to Faulkner, he's like in a happy place. You know what I mean? Like
Supposedly he's flying.
yeah, and he's enjoying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and even Jason Anderson. Look at Jason Anderson.
I'm gonna go ahead and ring Cooper Webb up
Like,
right now.
I
boys.
think
You're
he
getting
was,
him early.
Yeah, he needs to get wrapped up. So
Him sweepy.
he's got his daughter to put to bed at 6:55. So we're gonna have
Okay.
but he's flying.
Well, and think that mental attitude has to help Faulkner, someone who's been through the ringer.
Yeah,
I hope he wins, man.
he's got Rhino all zenning him out,
Let's
man.
do it. Here we go.
You're going to live in an adobe hut with Rhino. I feel it.
Yeah,
You're
That's
going
what-
to
that's
show
what
up
it
at his
takes.
doorstep.
I'm going out
No,
there for
Nick.
me. I'm
Nick
going
is
out-
going to show up at a door. It's going to look like the Flintstones
I'm going
house.
to live in one of those sweat huts.
You're
for
going
him
to
for
knock
like-
on the door. It's going to be a Flintstone style house.
Make this thing work.
Hey, if it doesn't work, I mean, we're going to just keep this recording and we'll just drive to North Carolina.
Yeah,
He's probably not in North Carolina
I
at
have
the
a feeling
moment.
it's doing it.
but yeah, I'm going to go out and
It's-
live in a sweat.
We're going to have to start running it off my phone, Kevin.
a sweat
I don't
tent
understand this.
with
Do you remember like the Flintstone style house? That's what I picture. They just they get some wet clay.
All right, so I'm having a problem.
And they
Cooper Webb,
form
if
it.
you can hear me, I'm going to hang my phone up, disconnect from this stupid freaking board, and then I'll call you right back.
Okay.
That's dumb. That is so
I
dumb.
never.
I gotta let
I
my-
was playing music with this.
before I get
will
back
it not
out.
play it right now?
No.
And we're going to cut this out of the show.
Nope.
No,
We're going to let this roll.
we're rocking with it.
And you're having to disconnect and shut down and start over.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a riding camp with Rhino. Just like
Are you going to wear rattlesnake chaps?
no, I'm going to wear a freaking loincloth with my
Yes.
hair in a ponytail, like a full of blown.
Make your hair
Native
ponytail
American.
greasy, dude. I want it to be like you ain't bathed in a couple of months.
The bed of your truck
when
needs
you
to be
just-
an ice bath with your bike in it.
Yeah,
your
I'm sure
bike's
he's got
in the
an
ice bath. You'd be like, I'm cooling down the suspension fluid.
Just have somebody drive you there. You're in an ice bath with your bike.
In the back, it's sloshing. Every time you
Just
lock up
pull
the
up.
brakes, it's just
I'm here.
ice cubes flying out, hitting the back window.
I'm ready to get zenned out, bro.
Well, I don't know, but I'm that's my biggest fear of Rhino, where he seems to stay. Is there's just going to be a rattlesnake in your bed or on your floor.
I just see me going out there and staying with him for a week and training, and us never smiling the whole time, and just like we have stare into each other's eyes sessions.
but your brains are transferring.
Don't
info.
blink contest. Go.
Yeah,
I'll bet you.
Trying to see if I
all
can
right.
make this thing
You
Now
work.
that
would
we've had
win the
it-
national championship the minute you come back,
yeah.
and you're just like, I don't know if I want to.
All right, I'm going to call him.
I don't know. Like when people go to the gym one day, I don't want to be too big.
Yeah, that's
Here
right.
we
One
go.
day.
All right, Cooper Webb.
What's up?
We're doing this, man. Sorry, the technology here, I don't understand it. We just got the internet.
And it's a dirt road.
Literally.
The internet is a dirt road.
Well, I'm saying in Georgia, we just got the internet.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Georgia's technology freeway is dirt.
Welcome back to the East
Okay.
Coast, brother.
Yes, sir. Good to
And-
be back.
And welcome back to winning. Like, holy cow, man. Like, it's a good weekend to be on our show. And we will pay your fine since you didn't do the interview with whoever, then we'll pay the fine.
Forego the media scrum
to do our
come
show,
to Winners Take Y'all.
Which does not make sense. I don't know how we got lucky enough to do that. But so what happened with that? Did you not go to the post-race press conference? What's the story on that? Or do you care to comment on that?
No, it was so after the first main event, they asked me to go to the podium.
Yep.
And I know on Triple Crowns, when they only interview the winner. So I just said, hey, like, I got second, you guys know, right? And they're like, yeah, they're still requesting you down there. And I said, hey, man, honestly, I'm pretty under the weather. I really need to get back and rest. Like, is there any way you can relay the message and let them know that I'm sick? And the guy's like, yeah, no worries. Like, I'll let them know, but they do really want you down there. But it's up to you what you want to do. And I was like, okay, yeah, sorry, I'm going to have to decline. And then next thing you know, I got a fine for refusing an interview.
Well, I didn't realize you were sick, and so you won when you were sick, and that, I mean, heck, in my world, if you communicated why you're not doing the interview, it just seems like it can't be much of a fine. I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's a good decision on your part, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
You need your rest. All right, so you took it. That's way to go. I mean, that's got to feel good, though, to come back to that winner's circle, man. Congratulations. That was sweet.
Yeah, I don't know what it did about not doing the interview, but it worked out for you for the rest of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Do you feel the I don't really know what the right word is, but on the Triple Crowns, they reward the consistency. And I know you hate probably having to take that risk of the start and the first turn 3 different times and all, but that's kind of gotta feel pretty good. You pulled together the consistent run to the first place overall without having to lay it all out there and hit Mach 90. And I know you were still going Mach 90, but you know what I mean? That the consistency got you to the win without having to just be take off and hide kind of thing.
No, for sure. And that's why it is interesting, like it's always, the Triple Crowns I've done in the past are always like, I've never been in that position going to the last one with like basically it was kind of like I needed to beat Jason and then I had a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
Normally it's kind of like, hey, to be on the podium, you need to go out there and, get on the podium again or win the race, or, hey, you need to win or take all, and that's who's going to win. So,
right.
Obviously, I put myself in a really good situation with this consistent 2-2 at the beginning. And like I said, going into the last one, I did have to beat Jason, but then I think I had like 5-point wiggle room, between, I think it was Chase, Jet, and maybe Kenny or Eli. So it was definitely interesting, but I kind of knew the situation once I was in the position I was in. And it's hard because, like you said, you want to push and you want to fight those guys. Then you're all, do I really need to take the risk or, put myself in a position where I am going to, maybe could potentially lose this thing. So, and plus, I mean, it was going to be, I knew my first win of the year and I definitely wanted to achieve that. So just kind of played it safe. And like you said, it's definitely felt weird to not win a main event. But I think that's kind of why we do the Triple Crowns, is for the exciting part of them,
Yeah.
Hey, talk about getting on that new bike and where you thought you were when we watched you race the last couple of rounds of Supercross and maybe some of the overseas stuff. And then, because I was like, man, I just don't think you're that comfortable on that bike. And holy cow, whatever you guys have done in the off season, and I don't know,
you
man,
look completely different.
Of all the people, you're probably the most mentally resilient dude out there, because I know I'm asking a million questions, but it's almost when you race and you're in third and you're within 5 seconds of a guy, I'm like, that's plenty of, this guy can make up more time better than anybody else.
Late race assassin.
It's ridiculous, and I know you've heard that before.
Yeah.
But tell me about the bike, the setup, what you guys have done, and how you got this confidence to do what you're doing now. Because to me, it doesn't make sense. It trips me out.
I think I've talked about it a little bit, but we definitely, at the time, I thought I was prepared for the SMX. And looking back, I definitely wasn't, as far as, with the bike and with myself. Like, we weren't in a bad spot by any means, but I think it was one of those things where, you get to a new team, you get where you wanted to be, and you're really gung-ho and you're excited. And, because you can go fast for a few laps, you just feel instantly ready. And that was maybe a little bit of the case. And we didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare, but we did our best. And then, I think for everyone at the SMX, everyone I feel like was caught off a little bit off guard with setup. And it was very unique, right? Because it wasn't really Supercross and it wasn't really motocross. And so, yeah, I think that was kind of a little bit of it. And then I've talked about it too, but I think it was actually really good for me to go and kind of get beat and us understand what we needed to work on. We learned, hey, for me, the engine was one of the things we needed to focus on. And then also we needed to make it turn better and stuff like that. And we went to Paris and we made a little bit of progress with that. But it was good to, once again, get a race under our belt, know for sure, hey, we made a little bit of progress, but let's take another swing. And that's what we were able to do. And also had some health stuff. I talked about it a little bit here and there, but had some really bad gut issues going on. And that was a little bit of like the weight problem. So I was able to figure that out in the off season. And since then I felt much, much better and back to kind of my normal self. So just a combination. And I knew like it wasn't going to happen overnight with, even though Eli had such great success the year before, when you come on a new bike and a new team, you got to just still learn and know what suits you. And then you got to trust on them to know, hey, this is what we think's going to work. And it's just finding that balance. And yeah, it just took a little bit of time. I don't think it's abnormal by any means to have, when you go to a new team, those little bit of just like growing pains. And
sure.
I think that's just what kind of happened. And I never lost faith, though. Like I said, I think me and the team knew what I was capable of come January, and we never lost sight of that goal, which was really cool to then show up at Anaheim and be as prepared as we were.
Yeah.
There's no question that you're always, I know you said that you had some gut issues there for a few races, but we know that you're always in shape and can go fast at the end of the race because, like Kevin said, everybody wants to lead the race, but nobody wants you behind them for the last couple laps.
Nope, not on those last couple.
Because you're like you get that extra gear and come up on them, and so we know you're.
I don't understand that.
You
That
know
does not
you're in
make sense
shape
to
to
me.
just throw it down, which is just it's crazy to watch. But what do you think?
At this point, that's a thing, dude. That has to be in your head. You're like, oh, we're going to do this now. I'm within whatever the number is.
You're like Tiger Woods being behind somebody, like on Sunday when somebody's in the lead. Tiger
Sunday.
Woods was in second, and they're like,
Oh, shit.
Just close that gap
Tiger
down.
Woods.
Yeah.
It's not even a coincidence anymore, though. It's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I text with me, Wygant, Iser, and Jeremy at Red Bull. We're like, oh, shit, here we go again. Like, it's
Yeah.
a thing every Saturday night. It's almost comical.
That's
There
a
he is.
nice thing to be known for, though.
Yeah, not many people can get past, and then
Yeah, it
I need to
is.
let you talk about it. I need to shut up, but like it blows my mind.
You're
Yeah, I
freaking
mean,
him
like I
out.
said, I think it's something I pride myself in for sure. Knowing that late in the race I'm gonna be there and kind of like blood in the water for a shark. And I think I was a little bit like that in my 250 days. Like a lot of my races, same kind of thing. They were at the halfway mark or a little bit later. And once I got onto KTM in 2019 and kind of resurged my 450 career, that's when those kind of late race charges started happening again. And like you said, they've continued to happen. And yeah, I think for me, it's just leaving it all out there, knowing that at any possible moment, you can win, or I could win, or, if I can force a guy into a mistake or just get them late, I know I always have a chance if I'm within, a few seconds or whatever it is late in the race. So, yeah, I think at this point now I'm very comfortable in that position. I trust myself in that position, and I leave it all out there. And most of the time, it goes really well for me.
I think it's awesome too that now you do that so much. Well, even this year, you've had a couple of times where
He did it with Anderson. He did it this past weekend.
that somebody wouldn't have held you up. You probably would have.
Sure.
I mean, you had a
got
couple
further.
wins in you, in my opinion,
Or at least
earlier.
another position better.
Yeah, this year, and then, but now with the fantasy deal, like it's not only just the rider and his team you're getting and his fans. Like anybody that didn't pick you for fantasy and they got the guy out front picked for fantasy,
Yeah,
they're like,
so good.
oh shit,
These dudes are paying the price, dude.
There comes
Hey,
Coop.
nothing beats Cooper last turn passing Roxon and then just giving him the revolver, the little double shot with the pistol fingers, dude. That is so iconic to me. That's one of these things that
That's one of the questions in our. I know you saw that Vurbmoto asked if you want to ask Cooper anything. The first one was like, when are we going to see it? Pew, pew. Like, when are we going to see the
so-
double barrel? What?
you had no clue you were going to do that, did you, Cooper? You just passed him, looked back, and gave him the little pew pew.
Yeah, in the moment, like I said, it was a great, feeling at the time, and we had our few run-ins and stuff, and yeah, like I said, it was just like it clicked, and I was like, this feels right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
awesome, man.
So about a tip, how does the Triple Crown race versus a normal Supercross affect you physically? Like, how do you feel
Like
the
on
next?
Monday?
Yeah, like how do you feel the next
Or
day,
Sunday?
one versus the other?
I think pretty similar. I think the tough thing about the Triple Crown is it's kind of backwards of what most people think. I think physically after the race, yes, it's a little bit maybe harder on the body because just the amount of laps that you did is a little more, but they're actually more of a sprint, in my opinion. Like this weekend, I think they were each 14 laps, and we're used to our 20-minute plus one, which is typically anywhere from 21 to 30 laps.
Mhm.
So I felt like they're a little bit longer than a heat race. So, they're more sprint style. And if you go out and really try hard the first few laps and get a lead, then the last few you can kind of cruise on in. But I will say by the third one, you start to feel the first two, and you look at the amount of laps we do. We did 14 each weekend or each race this weekend, but when you start to add that up, then you're like, oh, okay, we're almost then at the 45 or 42 lap range mark. So it's definitely a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think after the race, we're always a little bit sore, a little bit tired, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
What do you do between those races? You just like go
decline-
cheeseburger and a
You
decline
don't
beer?
have but
interviews.
like a half a second, dude.
Yeah.
You Heisman the interview guy and just cruise on back to your pits.
Heisman.
It is tough, because that's the other thing too, is there's not a lot of turnaround. You gotta, especially if you're trying to make a bike change or something like that, there's no time. So it's tougher on the mechanic, and then for yourself, you're trying to get cooled off, cleaned up, maybe get a quick snack, and then you're basically
Shotgun
right back
one
out
beer?
there. So
That's what I wanted. You need to say. That's what you need to tell your competition. So they're like, God, how's he doing this?
It's hard to shotgun the beer
I just have to. I don't even have to drink my beer slow. I go in and shotgun one beer,
and then come right
eat
back.
a Slim Jim, eat a meat stick, and drive right back out there to dominate.
It's 1978 all over.
78.
Hey, I'm
so-
gonna run through a few questions for you from our. I'm not even calling listeners because nobody listens to our show, but people are just wanting to ask questions.
This is
So,
what our moms want to know.
yeah, my mom want to know. First, one of our biggest fans, all-time biggest fan, Jason Wygant, he asked, "What other sport can you?"
wow.
He literally did ask this. He goes, "What sport do you play? Can you play other than a moto? Like, are you a golf guy, basketball dude?"
all of them.
Dang.
It's a decathlete.
Yeah, I mean, it probably helps. My mom was a PE teacher.
Oh
so
yeah.
I learned about every sport possible in school and played. I was actually a really good soccer player. And then in high school, I played high school basketball, wrestled.
Wow.
I did not
was
know
I
on
had
the
that.
soccer
no
team,
clue.
and,
Soccer, wrestling.
Yeah, I grew up, with my dad. He was a ex-pro surfer, so I surfed, skated, BMX. But yeah, any stick and
dang.
ball. As a kid too, like a young kid, I played baseball, football. all that stuff. We even would, racquetball, any kind of sport I was all about. And
Sugar rolls.
So he's just
still,
like
you know,
Jason
feel like
Wygant.
I'm-
Just like Jason Wygant. That's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Not at all like
Well,
him.
Not at all.
He is
It's-
terrible.
You know, I'm sure you know this, but 99.9% of motocrossers can't throw a ball.
No, it's awesome. I love watching that. They can't do
Oh,
it.
yeah. It was always fun when you get around the moto kids. I think it was Oak Hill had the basketball court, and that was always very entertaining to watch for sure.
Kevin, didn't you talk about that?
Cooper was out there just like
they
Kobe
had like
Bryant, just
a
dominating everybody.
softball game. Or,
No, they used to at Loretta's
Oh, yeah.
before you went there, Coop. They used to do a like a baseball and basketball and volleyball. Had all these different events we would do, and Dan Truman is known for
Oh, wow.
some home run that he hit way over into the 10 Commandments, essentially, because he just mashed a baseball. But anyway, yeah, they did basketball and it was awesome.
you get to see these moto kids
They
who don't
can't
know
do
how to
anything.
throw.
They're
They don't know how
terrible.
to do anything.
They are terrible. Hey, Elliot Cook wants to
yeah.
know if you missed Dan Truman. Now, again, you answer these questions. If you don't, I don't know. I don't have any background to some of these. So if it's a bad question, you'd be like, hey man, me and this guy don't get along. So I don't even know. So that was Elliot Cook. That was his question.
No, yeah, me and Dan are friends.
Okay.
When I was at the 83 compound, he was definitely more involved with the program and stuff. But
Yep.
yeah, we're still friends and we talk, quite a bit still. So,
Was he a Team Green kid at
yeah.
one point?
Yes. Yeah, Dan was.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Frank
Yeah,
Ma-
now I think he's with Get full time and stuff,
Yeah.
but I know he's helping with the Lawrence Bros and everything.
Yep.
So.
Dan has his hands all over stuff.
He's
Like that
busy,
dude's
dude.
everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have to answer
Yeah.
this. I don't know if you can even answer this. Frank Mann wants to know, what is your position on the role of government in supporting innovation in biotechnology?
Jesus. Frank Mann Jr.
Yeah, don't just decline that one. That's so stupid. And then the final question out of Facebook, you don't have to answer this because it's so dumb. It goes, would you rather fight 50 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
God dang.
That's tough, man. That's really tough.
So we're fighting
These are
ducks
actually
either
good.
way.
That's a good damn question.
What's I think what
Let-
you got to go with.
What's your answer?
Well, you got to have an area, a space. What kind of space are you in?
Yeah, is it barehanded or do I get some assistance?
And are you
or
in
I get
like
a
an?
shotgun?
Are you in an octagon or an open field?
No, you got to be in a.
Yeah, what if you're in an open field and
You're
all
not
these
out-
little ducks come flying at you,
No,
dude?
it's got to be a half of a basketball court. Can't get out. You're fighting a horse-sized duck or
A giant
You're in the
duck.
thunder-
Dude, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I don't
You're
want that.
in the Thunderdome with a horse-sized duck.
yeah, you don't.
I think I might take my chances with 50, man.
Good call.
I'm feeling you because you could just start kicking those things,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, you could pick one up
Yeah,
and beat the other ones with the
little
one you
sucker
picked up.
punch here and there.
You could hold them by the beak and start beating the others with it.
yeah.
Just
I can tell you this.
windmilling.
All right, here we go. Best rental car story that you can talk about.
Do they ever do that
That
anymore?
the statute of limitations is run out
I
on.
feel like our generation isn't like the 90s guys where they could just wreck their rental
Just
car
bend
and just laugh
frames.
about it.
Jumping.
We did do
loading
that.
docks.
That was a big fun thing.
I feel like now, yeah, there's liability with these things, so nothing crazy. I mean, yeah, I think the thing now is, it sounds lame, but every time we show up, like you're just looking for the best rental car you can possibly get.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that's the only thing I've never
Yeah,
done.
So
The
no
be-
rental car
Maybe
story.
somehow.
No, the best story is he got a Escalade.
Whoa.
That's the best. One
Sick.
time I got an Escalade.
All right,
Yeah.
what about this guy from England? Apparently, he goes, ask him if he's man enough to come race the Weston Beach Race in the UK. It's a 3-hour race, 1,000 riders on a man-made
thing scares me.
sand-built. Yeah, this thing looks absolutely
It's
insane.
scary.
Have you ever seen
On the beach.
Yeah, it's on a beach, and it is.
It's got huge whoops and rollers.
Yeah,
and,
I've seen those videos. I don't know if I've seen the one specifically from England, but I see the ones that like Hurlings does and Kai DeWolf and those guys.
Yep.
And I'd love to one day.
Okay.
I'm definitely man enough.
Well,
Okay.
we don't doubt that.
There you go, Mr.
I
England.
might have to be. Yeah, might have to show up.
Yep. And we'll find out who the champ is, and Coop's going to pass him at two
At
hours,
ro-
59 minutes.
2 hours. Yeah, right at the end.
Put on a
45 seconds.
put on a paddle tire and let it eat, man.
Yeah, man.
What did you learn from Bubba Senior when you took the Bubba's World training program?
Big James.
Gosh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I think he's talking about the Bubba's World episode where we went down to James's house and rode, and they did a camp, and one disclaimer, that was a reality TV show, in case anyone
Yes.
didn't know. So a lot of that was actually very scripted and very, hey, they told us what to do.
Yeah.
But being around James and his dad even at that time, kind of off camera, they were actually very helpful and like really were into helping us develop as riders and stuff like that. And one of the things they helped me work on the 150 was to not be on the rev limiter as much. I do remember like leaving there, and that was something that I took away from it. And then honestly at the time too, they helped me and my dad and stuff with like kind of trusting the process a little bit. I know that sounds crazy, but you know, at the time we're amateurs and I'm on a super mini and I'm doing really well, and there's pro teams approaching us, and just kind of helped us like, hey, you know, if this happens, we suggest doing this, or
Yeah.
hey, you know, you should go this route, or you know, think about these things. And so that was actually really cool. And ever since then, like I was always been really tight with Malcolm growing up in the amateurs, and I've been back a few times and rode there, especially when I got back on big bikes. I would go there before minios and stuff, and it was just always cool that they let me come. And you know, James would be and Malcolm would be getting ready for Anaheim, and they let me come as an amateur and ride their supercross track with them. So they were always really really cool in that regard.
Did Big James ever just sit you down and say, "Hey man, if the front tire slips, the back tire kicks"? He's notorious for saying front tire slip, back tire kick. It's like a saying he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Hey,
No, I've actually never heard that one, but we did have. I saw him a lot last year being back at Eldon's, with Malcolm and stuff. He would be out there and he'd be telling us, so he'd still be getting on us. That's for dang sure.
nah, that's awesome.
Hey, Will Hahn wants to know, when was the last time you had Barracuda?
At his mom's house.
Jesus. This has to have
I'm
some
not even
hidden meaning to it. There's no way.
At your mom's house, Will.
Yeah, Will.
Literally probably wasn't.
Your mom goes to college.
If we have time.
Yes.
Of course.
So I can give that story. So me and Will used when he was still racing, he was kind of took me in when I moved out west and was like my dad in a way. I was a young kid that moved to California, didn't know anybody, didn't have a clue, and I had never met Will until I moved to California. And he was on Geico, I was on Star. Like there was really no connection. And anyway, long story short, it was my rookie year Supercross. I think it was his first year in the 450 class, and he kind of told me about Doc G, who is one of the guys that I still use. He's a kind of like our team doctor. Cairo does kind of everything, and he has an office near Newport Beach, and me and Will would always carpool to his office once a week and get worked on and tuned up and stuff. And Will had took me to lunch one day to Cafe Rio, and he told me, he goes, hey, you got to get these. At the time, he said the barbacoa is really good. The pool. I didn't know what the hell it was. I never even heard of that word. So the next week we go to the office and I'm getting worked on, and I looked over and I'm like, bro, you know what we need to go get?
Here it comes.
Is some of those Barracuda tacos. And he looked at me and was like, what the F did you just say?
Barracuda
said,
tacos.
dude, the Barracuda, that shit's good. And I'm yet to ever live it down.
Oh, that's so good. Leave it to Will, man.
Yeah, they need to keep everything going. Just run
so
it in the
good.
ground. You need to be about 90 and just saying it still.
Dummies.
Yeah. So it was, I was, I think, 17 and just clueless.
That's fine.
Hey, this other guy, the Moss 912, wants to know what you were thinking when Phil brought the media Weege to your bachelor party and he split his head open.
Oh, it was funny. So on my bachelor, we went, we actually rode woods. So like I have a buddy that has some property, and we took some UTVs and dirt bikes and just had like, a trail day and just hanging out and riding. And Phil invited Weege, big off-road guy.
Yes.
And next thing you know, I still don't know how he did it. He like opened his car door and somehow split his head wide open.
He wasn't even riding.
I think
God.
no. He like had to get stitches. Like we were there for 5 minutes, and dude was just hazard. And I still don't know what happened, but he was just bleeding. I don't think he'd even gotten a lap in yet. And yeah, it was
The liability.
That
man.
speaks to
funny looking
that
back.
lack of stick and ball coordination we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
He didn't even get to ride. He
He's has trouble with car doors.
Just the car door got him.
Dude, the car door, man. Just watch out for that section.
So, but yeah, that was when afterwards, I was, that was really before, like, I've always known Weege, but I kind of told Phil, I'm like, bro, it's kind of my Bachelor, like,
What are you doing?
it's kind of weird.
Bringing some dude
Like,
you
nah,
don't
it's
know.
fine. And then that was really the first time I'd hung out with Weege besides in an interview or anything like that. And obviously he was super cool and laid back and stuff. So it was funny though.
and he almost
Yeah,
died.
injured
Yeah,
for
and he
sure.
bled,
What an
lost a
idiot.
lot of blood.
I've never heard
loss.
that story. I've never heard that story. I guess it's not something you say, but damn.
He's a lot cooler when he's low on blood.
Yeah, man. You get him a quart low, dude's pretty sweet.
Hey, so what do you know?
Yeah,
like we're done
yeah.
with our listener questions. Thanks for everybody that participated, Instagram and Twitter and MySpace.
Yep.
Hot or not, everybody was
Grindr.
really
AOL
a lot,
chat.
Bumble.
yeah, a lot of good
Farmers only.
farmers
Farmers
only.
only.
Yep. Mike Fortner had a good question for you, but we didn't get to that one.
Farmers.
I just want to know about your after this weekend's race. I still don't know who the dude is. Like we've had mud races, we've had like Jets had some flashes of brilliance. We've had Jason Anderson looks like he can win. Tomac's got himself a win. You were super consistent. Like I think
Roxon's been going really fast.
and I know you want to say, "Oh, I'm the guy," and you should. But I'm like, as a fan, this is so damn cool to have a series where we've had, and there's been 4 different heat race winners.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah,
it's
no,
great.
It's pretty wild. I think that's every year how they want the script to go, but it never does, right? And I think
Nutrition.
this is the first time that it's kind of happening, right? Where there are multiple guys, myself and Jason and Eli, the past champions, Chase, like we've all showed up. There's the Jet, the new guys, there's Kenny, like there's so many APs, the freaking points leader. Like
Yeah.
I don't think
forgot
any of
about
us would have
Yeah,
ever
who
guessed
claimed that?
So it's really cool, I think, for the sport, and even right now with us also close in points. Like you said, I want to be the guy. I feel like I'm in a good spot to be. So that's a positive. And yeah, I think in general, even after it all, like I think everyone expected Jet to be really good, and he will be and has been, and I don't doubt that he'll come out with a vengeance. But I do think after him having his perfect season, him really doing well in SMX, I think it's good for the sport to have 4 different winners, like you're saying, 4 different pole position guys, 4 different heat race winners. Like it does show how good the 450 class is and how good each and every one of these riders are. And like I said, I truly believe it is the toughest season yet in Supercross, but it's kind of cool to have proof in the pudding, right? And us have the chaos and the difference going on. So yeah, I think from a fan's perspective, it's pretty dang cool to not know who's gonna win on the weekends.
Yeah.
You ready to go East Coast too, man? Like that's where you really start to stretch your legs out. So for you to be this close, this dangerous right now, it's got to be kind of exciting for you. You got to be kind of salivating to go up to Detroit, even though the Lions couldn't get it done. Maybe you can.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think it's really, like you said, I always get going on the East Coast, and being back in Florida has been really nice. Had a great week riding and training, and yeah, I think that the tracks are going to suit my style. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I know I'm in a great spot. I'm feeling great on the motorcycle. Feel like I can go out and win on any given night. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
It's got to feel good to know that you've got the speed, because obviously what we've seen this year, I mean, you've had the speed. Your speed is there, and you've got the mental fortitude to do it. I mean, that's got to Like when even on the races you didn't win, you had the speed. That's got to be a huge confidence.
It's got to be
boost.
way better than like, well, that was the best I could ride, and now all I am is a 5th place guy.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah, for sure. It's been, like you said, really encouraging. And Anaheim 1, like we talked about, on paper wasn't the best, but my riding was awesome. And besides San Fran, I've been in the mix every weekend besides that, and like you said, could have maybe had a little bit better results here and there. So, but having that capability and qualifying well and being up there in the heat races and just being there in general is really, for me, a confidence, builder. And I know, like I said, that there was times last year where I was like, I had to kind of wait for the track to come to me. And honestly, I could maybe sometimes do track walk and be like, man, tonight's going to go either really good for me or it's not, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Well, you can see
never
that. You can
great
feel
by
that
any means.
on track walk. You can pick that out. You can feel that.
Certain years for sure. And like I said, I felt like last year speed was one of the things. Like I could do I could ride really well, but I had to really rely on my late race charging, like you guys talked about earlier in the call. And I feel like now I'm competitive no matter what. So I'm really happy with that.
Hey, Wes Williams, one last question. I know you got to wrap this thing up. Wes, his question wanted to know, did you ever look up and see those dumb cameras when they were doing Moto Spy and go, dude, please get these cameras out of my face?
No, I actually miss Moto Spy. It was cool. Like I said, I think at first you're always a little bit like, who's filming? Like,
Yeah.
especially me. I'm not the, when I get off the bike, win or lose, I'm always just like, I don't know if it's the pressure or the adrenaline or what, but I'm always just kind of heated and I'm not just like, I almost have to take, everyone knows they give me like 2 minutes just to cool off, and that's even after a win, no matter what. So there was races, if something happened, like there would be some raw emotion, and you're always a little bit worried, like, man, they caught that on film, like they could really make me look like an ass here. And I always really respected that about the Wes and his crew. They were always there for the good and the bad, but they were always very respectful of what they aired, what they didn't. And, I still honestly look back and watch those. Like that was such for me in my career, those were they filmed my 2 championship years. So for me to have that in the archives and be able to watch now on YouTube or Red Bull TV, like anytime
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty dang cool,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I miss it, man. They were always very professional, very easy, and yeah.
Last
So
question.
really
John
good
wants to
crew.
let you tuck your daughter in. John has one more question before we turn you loose.
We're sitting in a little studio here, Coop, and we've got a bunch of old mini bikes. Did you save anything from when you were a kid? You got any helmet collection or some bikes or anything like that?
Yeah, I wish I would have saved a bike or something. But no, I do have my first ever helmet, which is really cool.
That's good. Yeah.
No, I think, we were kind of in a position where we always had to sell our stuff to get the next, bigger bike and stuff like that. So no bikes, but my dad does still have at his house all my amateur championship trophies. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And then, my first ever helmet we held on to, and maybe some gear when I was on 85s and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, more as a pro, I've definitely held on to more things and, have helmet, boots, and got, that kind of stuff from every year, all my wins, championships, stuff like that is, I know one day will be pretty dang cool.
Heck yeah.
Big cardboard checks. Do you still have some of those big cardboard checks, or did they keep
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
They keep them with the bank when you deposit them.
After my rookie year.
Yeah.
After my rookie year, they went away, but I have a few whole.
But you have a few. Sweet. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we're gonna let you back at it, man. I'm respectful of your time. You gotta.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys.
Got those daughters. Thank you for making this work. I know it was a multi-week of harassment text from me, and I greatly appreciate you.
No, you're good.
You doing it, man. And I'll
appreciate you taking the restraining order off, Kevin.
Yes, yes, that was very cool. You can turn it back on.
Yeah,
and
it's good to hear him.
I'll see you down at Daytona. We'll be announcing.
Good to hear from you.
We'll have a good evening, buddy, and thanks. Good luck, and we'll see you in Detroit.
Yeah,
and
thanks, guys.
Kill him this weekend.
See ya.
Take care.
See you, Coop.
There you go. Cooper Webb.
Ferocious.
Supercross.
Man, that was just too short.
Winner.
I'll be
too
straight up.
short.
That was a very compressed time. I wanted to make sure we got some of our stuff in. Then we had a lot of the listener questions that we wanted to ask.
Yeah,
It was
but-
on Vurbmoto. But
Well, and Frank Mann, I mean, really drilling to the core of the earth.
Yeah.
You know, to really
Probably the best
understand
question.
biological warfare. And
You know,
I mean,
But
that was a good one. Right?
I do understand his time because he did. I mean, he's right in the middle of the season, and he did win the race this weekend.
yeah, like,
yeah, he's got to have a few pulls coming.
and he
like-
didn't do an interview with
Yeah.
Supercross this past weekend.
he
so-
passed on them. He wasn't gonna get fined if he told us no.
No,
Maybe we should start finding people.
Yeah,
listen here, son.
I can't
But
believe he
really,
talked to
what
us.
would we do with a bigger
If
budget?
I won a
you know?
Supercross, I'd never talk to you two again.
Oh, Nick would be.
Are
done
you
with us.
serious, man?
Done with us.
That's
I'd have
ridiculous,
such
dude.
an
That's
entourage. I'd look like Ben
Kramer
Stiller
and
and Blue
Seinfeld.
Steel when he's
Yeah.
riding that Jeep. Wake
There you
me up before.
That would look good.
That'd
Blue
be me.
Steel, dude.
Yeah, wearing a Supercross jersey.
Was
riding
that where
around.
he worked in coal mines and he caught the black lung after about 12 minutes of Father, I have the black lung.
Nobody even knows what we're talking about. We just,
Everybody's seen Blue Steel,
I would
man.
have
He'd
a-
just look at you with those eyes, dude.
I would have such an entourage of people if I won a Supercross.
I always find it interesting, though. That's why I circled to Cooper about did you save anything? You know, these kids started out loving dirt bikes, and I can relate to selling the one bike to get the next because I don't have anything. I sold every bike to get the next one, just
Yep.
like that. So I think that's part of the obsession now is like, well, I wish I could have kept this bike and that bike, you know, and maybe he'll circle back and find him a 150 one day to sit down there and have
Yeah.
it done up. But I just find it interesting to know, like, are these dudes still fans after grinding it out, having the crud beat out of you, being injured?
He sounds like he was though, and like talking about going riding on his bachelor party. I mean,
Yeah, going trail riding.
yeah, that's a good question. Like, do you just genuinely enjoy riding? I feel like a lot of those guys get a bad rap, like Villapoto did, and some of the other guys after they quit. And then now he's back riding. He's an ambassador.
He's
so
happy now. He
But
didn't
then,
look
like Larry
happy.
Ward, dude, that dude stopped riding. He goes deuces. Like,
Could you imagine being so good?
Larocco too.
Big Bird was a bad dude. I could see Larocco. He rode more than anybody.
And he
Right.
said he doesn't even have moto friends. Like he doesn't like nobody. Like
He's got a dentist and a CPA.
You walk into his house, you don't see a picture. You don't know, well, how did he make all this money? Like,
Yeah.
what'd you do,
This
dude?
guy is never. He's always home. What does he do?
I can't get enough of it. Like, it's me and Weege we will announce at Loretta's, and it starts at like 5:30 in the morning. Get up, shower, cruise out to the track. Opening ceremony 7 a.m. Gate drops at 7:30 or whatever. It ends at 7 that night. It raced till dark,
Long
and
day.
then we just continue. We cannot stop talking about racing until we on the drive to eat dinner, and then he will finally show up. It's like 1 in the morning. Goes. And I'll be talking, then finally there's just a break, and then you can hear like
Yeah.
just it never stops.
You know, while we were talking to Cooper Webb just now, Supercross winner from last weekend.
Good call.
He I was feeling that he enjoys dirt bikes. You know what I mean? That he still, and I was thinking about, because we were talking about Day in the Dirt, like how fast, like how just some of those guys that are there are just so awesome. But if Cooper Webb showed up, it would be like a different sport. I mean,
He'd wax
right
them
now
all.
in his prime, just to watch him do something like that would be so sick.
Yeah, because when you're at your local track, or not necessarily Day in the Dirt, but a local track, when you see a local pro,
The dude.
you're like, you can't go any faster than
You
that.
can't do it. You get lulled into thinking that. Like
Yeah.
I'll catch myself at regional races where I see a guy. I'm like,
He's
damn,
rolling,
dude, like that dude's getting it. And then he shows up at Loretta's, and I'm like, I'll tell Weege, I'm like, dude,
This guy right
I
here.
saw
It's
this
gonna
guy.
be good. It's gonna be
He's going to
good.
surprise you, and he gets like 9th. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang it.
Which
The dudes
ninth at
that are the
Loretta's
dudes
is great, but I know what
Yeah.
you're saying. When you see him at the regional, you might call him for a top 3.
Oh yeah.
And certain tracks are really weird about looking fast on. Like Mammoth is one of those. Just because you go good at Mammoth, that does not
Doesn't translate.
Dude,
Yeah.
Loretta's, that place translates. I don't know why,
Loretta's
because
is hell.
it shares nothing of what Florida is about, what Mammoth's about,
Every
what
jump
Texas
at
is
Loretta's
about.
doesn't have enough takeoff.
You got to,
so you've got to yank
it's
the
work.
bars and
It's
lift.
work.
And yeah, it's work.
Every bit of that track.
single obstacle is work at Loretta's, man.
Just the track walk, it's 174
the track
degrees.
walk
Dude,
is hell. Most people quit after the track walk,
I'm out, man.
and you got to hammer.
You just qualified, dude.
You run into
showed up
Davey,
here.
and you got to hammer some stakes. He hands you a sledge. Not in this heat. Not in this heat, Davey.
Weed eating.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're weed eating.
Yeah, I'll pass on all that weed eating, man. I'd be talking about we're just going to drop a plane full of weed killer on this whole. You know what I mean? Like let's just
Agent
Kill all the
Orange, the
cows
whole
that are
place.
out there.
Agent Orange the whole place. Man.
Well, you know that is a cow pasture when we're not
yeah,
on with
I've
dirt
seen it
bikes,
with
so-
cows on it.
I have too. I've been out there. It's surreal to go out there with cows, and then there's
Just to
grass
see it
everywhere.
empty. I
and
mean-
then all the kids that get in that pond.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, do you
disgusting.
know what that is? They're playing in it. It's the
Freaking
best
leeches.
day of their
You ever
life.
see Rambo?
Or have you ever seen Stand By Me?
Yeah,
When they
that's
wake
it.
up and they got the leeches.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what happened in not First Blood, but Rambo.
Yeah.
The second one. You know, and they'd lower him into that skank pit that's got the pig run off from the pig troughs, and he's hanging. He comes out, and the dude's like,
Leeches.
He
on
takes
me. How
the-
you doing?
he takes his knife and starts cutting the leeches off.
Yeah, that's man.
I've ridden a track in Florida that was
You got
like-
leeches on. You get roosted on
No,
leeches.
but like it opened up into a big grass track kind of deal, and I'm like riding, going into the corner, thinking, "This is a cow field. I smell cow shit." Like I'm,
You're getting
For
roosted.
sure,
I'm
I've been
like-
roosted and I knew for a fact I got cow manure all over
Turd.
me, dude.
yeah,
the
I
turd
just
in your
got
teeth.
cow shit roosted.
That
I-
can't be good for you if you were to like
You don't think so?
ingest it, because you know
It
how you
tastes
eat a little
terrible.
dirt. You don't think so?
I don't know if it's good for
Kevin's
you. But it
very
tastes like shit.
concerned.
It literally tastes like shit.
Oh, I bet it does.
Are you serious?
You know,
Man,
the
who would've
bad thing
thought?
about eating
That
cow
shit
shit
tastes
is
like
got
shit.
like the grass and everything in it. It's just a lot more texture.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, so this past weekend, I was one of my thoughts was like it's like the fastest guy didn't win. I mean, Jet was at times the fastest.
And
Although
Roxon at times is
Tomac
fastest
Tomac
too.
actually set the fastest lap time.
Yeah.
But so in theory, the fastest guy didn't win. The guy that won didn't win because Anderson
Yeah.
and Tomac didn't win, and the guy that got second won.
That's so
What
incredible.
the crap, dude? That,
When does that happen? You know, Triple Crown can
Triple Crowns
deliver.
they're my favorite, dude. You could add 2 or 3 more.
I
of
couldn't
those dudes.
imagine. It'd be like going to work every day, and then one day they're going, "No, man, we're going to do it this way,"
Whoa, what are you talking
and you're
about?
like, "Why? Why
we're-
would we do it this way?"
We're going to unload the trucks and then we're going to do
I
this.
like them
Yes.
though. I'm like Kevin.
It's chaos, man. It
It's
is.
chaos and
It's
it's
fast.
entertaining.
And
From
it's
a
good
fan
start.
perspective,
races.
it is very.
You get to
entertaining.
watch 6 main events.
Yeah, you get a lot of racing that means something.
Did he
Like-
say 42 laps or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, 14,
Instead of
14,
30?
40, yeah, 42 laps is what they did.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
Hey,
man.
I'll tell you another interesting fact about Cooper. Like he has the least amount of laps led for the championships that he's won. Like,
well, I
it's like
said to you
50 and
both,
60
this
laps. He doesn't
smells
lead.
like a Cooper Webb
It-
championship year
don't
because he doesn't have to lead laps. He leads the last.
I
lap.
would not bet against him.
Yeah,
in
he leads the
championship.
last lap.
He's got
man.
he does have a mental mindset that is second to none. I will put him on top of everybody with that. And then he's got the speed to, like he's saying, he goes, I've got first lap speed versus having to
Yeah.
finish the thing. So he's got both those working.
And I wonder if he's like a diesel where his first lap, even though right now his first lap speed's good, but is he the type that just gets stronger and stronger and stronger as he gets warmed up?
I don't know if he gets any stronger, but I feel like he is as good as anyone at dissecting a racetrack and moving around and finding whatever the best way real time to go through a set of whoops or
Yeah,
whatever.
when
it
the
is.
track's
When it breaks
changing and-
apart, yeah,
yeah.
man, he is so good at that. So, and it sounds like we're blowing him, but that's just how I feel.
Well, he's not even here.
Well,
Yeah,
if you've
man.
been if you've been watching the races this year, you know. I mean, because
Yeah.
there's been a couple
It's
times where
bad.
he was
bad
I mean,
to the
he's-
bone, dude.
And there are plenty of people that he's passed on the last lap that can attest to you don't want the guy behind
Do
you.
you think there'll be mini bike kids who, you know how we have certain images of RJ and Wardy and stuff? It's like burned into our brain, right? We know what track, what magazine, all this stuff. Who said what the announcer said? Is Cooper passing Roxon on the last lap and throwing the little pistol?
That's a thing. That's
Is
a thing.
that some little kids? Is Cooper Webb a hero to some little kid because of that one thing?
Yes, and he's a villain to the Roxon fans. They're like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
this guy." Yes, for sure, man.
You know what? It's hard though. With like, I know he's a villain to they're his fans, but when you lose, there's nothing you can do. And Roxon has his
That's
times.
clean,
He
man.
wins.
They were
It's
clean
clean.
passes.
Roxon's been the best
And
in the
when
world.
I mean,
so is
there's
Cooper.
a big difference between somebody being cocky and doing something like that.
I
when they
told
don't
him.
back
I
it
don't
up.
think he
Being-
knew he was about to do that. He just passed him at the very
No,
end.
like
and
he
did
said,
it.
like it's like when you dunk on somebody and you just stand over top of them. They could be your buddy, but dude, I
just got
did
dunked
that
on,
to you,
son.
bro. I posterized
Why is
you.
James crying? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because he just got dunked on.
That's right,
Mm-hmm.
man. What
I
I,
ain't
mean, I
even
know I'm
lying.
fast forwarding into the year, but man, I sure would love to see our Motocross of Nations team get our best dudes. Like you got Star. They've always been a big proponent of that
Yeah.
team. I'd love to see Eli and Coop and hell. You could send you could send Justin Cooper over there on a 250 and have
Yeah.
a formidable team.
That'd be awesome.
Or Sexton
and
or
that might
whoever.
increase the likelihood of
Them doing it.
getting your best team if it fell under one roof like Star.
Well, you could. I mean, you could
Because
send-
they are on board. And
I mean,
hell, you
been-
got Hayden Deegan too. I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm discounting. You may have the fastest 250
Yeah.
rider in the world. We don't even know it yet. So
Yeah.
I know we're thinking way ahead, but man, that race,
Yeah,
it
but that
should
race is
mean
my-
something, and it should mean something to everybody. It's so bitching.
that race was part of my retirement goals. I wrote this down like 20 years ago. Like a guy says to me, "Hey man, what do you want to do when you retire?" And I start naming some things. You know, and when you're 30 years old, you don't know. And he's like, anything you want to do, places you want to go. I wrote down Motocross of Nations every year, no matter where it's at. I don't know if I can pull that off if it's in Latvia or some junk, and I got
There's
to watch
war.
out for IEDs and, whatever. I ain't down with
Pay
getting
somebody to go
bus.
with you to walk.
my
in front of
Humvee
you.
gets
listen,
blowed
there
up.
he goes again, wussing out.
I ain't, yeah,
He's
listen,
already bailing
son.
out of
Already
Latvia.
bailing out.
I don't have night vision goggles. I'm not traveling with fully automatic weapons.
Iran national
Just to see-
MX of Nations. What
The
hell?
Iranian Motocross of Nations. You think that'd be a sand track?
Yeah.
I think it would be.
It'd be
Motocross of
Sandra.
Nations in Baghdad.
Yeah, Baghdad, dude.
You're going to be the only red-headed guy in Baghdad.
I'll be like, no, I'm from here, man. Get off my.
I'm native. I'm native.
Yeah.
Oh, they would not.
No, they wouldn't fall for it. I'm not, and I, there may be some years I have to pass on that, but I love that race. I love it. That when
If you went to Baghdad or like they had it in Yemen or
He
something,
ain't gonna let you.
they would
15
I'm not letting
Yemen
y'all-
Road.
Like you just be walking down the road,
Tokyo
people,
of Nations, MX
people
of Nations.
taking selfies with you.
Yeah, just look at this freak show.
look at this weird,
He's showing
looking-
his skin like his burning in this
He's-
picture. He got more.
Oh, I'd
burnt.
have like blisters and stuff, right?
Yeah, they, oh,
If I'm kicking it down Yemen Road,
his white skin and cinnamon hair,
fireball.
Cinnamon-
fireball. Well,
Can I
yeah.
lick it?
Yeah. Yes, for luck, you can. I'll let you.
Lick my hair.
Very
my hair.
very lucky to lick a ginger's head.
The whole country thinks that it's just like cattle coming up to you. Just,
Yeah. Will you please let my camel lick your ginger head?
So gross.
Jesus, I don't know about no camels, dude.
Hey,
They'll
John,
be-
let's hit up our sponsors, man. I know we could not do it without all
Without
of our-
helmet skins, lever skins, Skintimate, Skintastic, Skin So Soft, which is the #1 repellent of all
Mosquitoes.
things mosquitoes. We got rhino skins, pork skins, shirts versus what is it? Blouses
Blouses.
versus skins. I can't remember.
tater skins.
Tater skins. Lamb skin is one of Nick's favorite sponsors.
Are tater skins those ginormous half a potato wedges you get in a good gas station?
Oh, I'd like to say
sells
a
bait?
quality,
No, those are. I think those are tater wedges.
like one of them boutique
You could literally chalk the tire on your.
chocolate tire. Look, son, that trailer right there pointed
Chalk
downhill.
that tire.
Throw a tater
I
wedge
think
in
the
there.
skins are the rip off that like it.
Tater
Outback or
wedges.
somewhere. Like,
Tato
The
skins.
shit they use, they peel the potatoes and then they're like, "What can we do with these?
What do we do with this?
We'll
man?
put cheese and sour cream, bacon all over.
Yeah,
them.
that's
use
what
it.
we're gonna do with
Sell them
these.
to the Bloomin' Onion
But
crowd.
is that the mark of a good gas station when the bait and the tater skin smell like
The
mesh right in the
bait.
middle? Of, you
When
can hear
they're
the crickets.
selling minnows,
You can hear
crickets,
the
and
crickets
worms,
and worms,
and Tato wedges,
and they're cleaning. They're doing everything with the same set of gloved hands.
yeah.
And they're going into the worms and,
throw
then-
me some more taters in there.
and get some hush puppies
You
for
don't
me.
see as many bait like the bait.
You go down south,
containers.
son.
If you go to Idaho, you'll see tons of that.
There's
Because
no. Hey,
all
that's
those
only,
rivers and stuff for fishing and
That's
junk.
the only thing Bucky's doesn't sell, right? It's bait.
Oh, I
Live
bet
bait.
they have bait, dude. We just
think?
hadn't looked for it. Yeah. Dude, you give up at Bucky's. You quit looking.
You ain't made it to the
I've
dog
never
section.
made
I
it all
bought a pit bull
Yeah.
and a prom dress and
The
a,
homeless shelter,
and a
and a
lawnmower
lawnmower.
there.
They do have lawnmowers.
There are people. It's
I bought
Fire
there's deer
pits.
blinds there.
Yeah.
yeah, pellet grills.
$2,000 deer blinds.
Man,
There-
That's not an impulse buy when you're just cruising through Bucky's with a.
when you're on your
a
way to
deer blind
vacation and
as
here
big
comes
as
a
this
deer
room.
blind, I'll take that.
People are walking into that bitch like they're walking into Disney World.
It's an
In
attraction.
Orlando.
They're getting shirts.
Yeah,
They're taking days off of work for this thing.
I always go in there and there'll be, 81 people shopping and then 212 gas pumps being,
Used.
and I'm like, what are they bringing in per hour? Is it like $30,000 an hour? I mean, God,
Guarantee you.
because
that.
motorhomes pull in there. You know, they're
Well,
getting,
it's $100 a car. There's 200 gas pumps.
yeah,
That's
and
$20,000.
sometimes
Am I right?
they're all there.
Is it
Don't
$100
make us do it
$200.
because we're gonna look stupid.
Is that
man.
$20,000?
Somebody's gonna correct us, but it's a
$20,000
lot.
just to fill up all them pumps.
Well, there's
That's
At
an
$100 a
hour.
car.
There's
That's not even an hour, dude.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying,
Freaking-
say it's an hour.
30
More than
people
that.
working there.
Yeah,
At
yeah, they
least
got a
30
crew.
people chopping.
That's
damn
30
pork.
people you can
Yeah.
see. I guarantee you, there's whole other crews that are like in the back bringing junk out.
Bringing gallon jugs
know
of
what?
gasoline. Like, get more. They're
Pour
running
more
low.
in.
They're running low in the 89, brother.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on Buc-ee's, but I have friends that are like, man, that's the best brisket sandwich. you're
Not
ever
everybody I
gonna have."
know that eats the brisket, their stomach hurts.
And I'm like, no, it's not.
I've had
Like
truckfuls of
You've never
teenage
been
boys.
to Jack Black's in Dallas or
Yeah,
like,
there's-
you've
I can
never
think of
been
900
Kansas
other
City,
places.
like
I've never eaten it
Gates
because
in Kansas City have better brisket than
Yeah, I've never seen Guy Fieri. We're here at Buc-ee's to get the best.
we're live here at Buc-ee's.
Never.
I had
It's
Rhett.
good for a gas station.
Yeah, I had Rhett, AJ, and Grant. They're all like, we're eating brisket sandwiches on the way to some race. Every one of them's like, you got to pull over, man. This stuff is terrible. All three of them at the same time. I'm just like, dang, dude. So, you know, I don't really go for
And
that.
I think as motocross racers, our stomachs are conditioned because we grew up eating track burgers like
Sure.
nobody's business. Like
Yeah.
I've eaten more.
Hey, so those of you that head up and down 75, have you ever ate at the Buckner's?
Buckner's,
Of course we
round
have.
table.
So I just
We
want to let
raced
everybody else know.
motocross in Georgia. We've eaten at Buckner's.
What exit was that? Just below. It's just below Forsyth, heading
Yeah.
south on the
So
right.
it's I
152.
thought it's one north of Hillbilly Hills, which is Highway 42.
Yeah.
And
Well,
wait,
look up Buckner's on 75 if you're ever running up and down 75 and you got a
it's
minute.
family style. They got a round table. You don't even order.
It's a lazy Susan.
you just
son.
sit down. They'll
Sit
start
down.
putting
They'll
the
take
dishes
that-
in.
They'll take your $22,
Yeah.
which I
Hey,
believe.
do you remember that time we were going to Hillbilly Hills and we stopped at that Burger King and you and Kyle were in there? It might not have been Burger King. It might have been Wendy's. And this dude, he might have been homeless, but he was a little too clean cut to be homeless. And he had his shirt like cut all funny. The shirt looked like a night shirt that went to his ankles. And he had started trimming it off so it'd be normal length, but he didn't finish when he needed to get into Wendy's. And so half the shirt had this big long tail hanging down past his knees, and the other half was cut off with a knife. You could tell he cut it with a knife. And Kyle undoubtedly had been saying something to him when we came in. And dude he's mad and he starts yelling and stuff, and we're like a little freaked out because we just enter and here comes this dude with this funky long shirt. I know there's no way you
I
remember
don't
this.
remember that.
But y'all had said something to him and got him all pissed off.
Hand him off to you.
And then I come in the door and there he is, and I'm just like, damn, man, this dude. And he started looking pretty sketchy.
Yeah, I
at
got a
that
shirt
point.
that's been cut. What you
He
got to
was,
say
yeah,
about
he's
it?
like, it's the best shirt I got. And he's screaming it and
Sunday,
stuff. Yes,
Damn, dude.
exactly.
This is my Sunday cut up shirt. With
Nick,
it
you
up.
got the address?
I do. People are going to think this is funny for some reason, but Buckner's is located at 1168 Buck Snort Road, Jackson, Georgia.
Which Buck Snort, you would just immediately think
Loretta's.
Tennessee,
Yeah,
right?
you think of Buck Snort Tavern.
Bell Buckle and Buck Snort.
Buck
It's
Snort.
actually
It's on
Jack-
Buck Snort.
Buck Snort Road. Yeah, it's like the next. It's off.
That sounds so country. Is that
Six-
near
It's
Cafe?
one exit north
Is
of.
that just shy of Cafe Risque?
Is
No,
that-
we're not far enough
Wheelbarrow.
south.
That's on Coke Snort Road.
Yeah, that's more of a.
I've been in there one time.
I've never been in there.
We went to Minio's. This is way back in the day. Me and Kyle, I don't know why, but we're like, let's do it. We've never done this. We went to Cafe Risque. There's
Were y'all
Cafe,
in the damn
There's
Caprice?
Cafe Erotica and there's Cafe Risque.
Oh, yes.
Same family of adult
Same
entertainment.
family, the Andersons.
Terrible. It was so bright. I'm talking about, it was like a surgeon, like they're about to have surgery. In
Why?
there. I'm like,
We don't want it bright.
No, it was.
No,
and
not
they're-
with those girls.
And they're serving full like meals, and you're like,
You guys
I
want
can't eat
to?
another bite. You know
I'll
what I
take
mean?
another ribeye.
What's
No.
your special today? That's the open face tuna sandwich.
There it is.
Dude, that's
So I would
exactly
not,
right.
I would
That's
not
what's-
recommend going there.
Well, one
Not a
time we
fan.
went to Buckner's, man, and I was delirious. It was after Hillbilly and hot. You know, it was one of these late spring or early fall races, and it was hot. And so I'm delirious, and we go in there and eat. And I didn't know, after racing all day and just drinking endless amounts of water, like when you finally do decide, like, hey, I'm gonna eat some food. Like Buckner's probably isn't the right spot for a hot stomach that's been jiggled to
It's the
death.
best.
And then you're going down all this food, right?
Sweet tea out the ass.
Yeah.
So good.
So Austin, I got Austin Gomez with me, and his girlfriend's name was Candy at the time. And Candy
She danced at Cafe Erotica.
Candy was hilarious. So she was one of the
good.
funniest humans, right? So
Nick, you got a
Candy.
candy story?
Yeah, but we will get it later.
no,
Not that candy. I
oh,
can tell
different
you-
Candy.
Yeah, I don't know that candy.
So this guy walks in, man, with this insanely Hawaiian shirt, and it's like a knockoff Hawaiian shirt.
We're in Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, and he's got
imitation
his
imported silk.
he got a
Or
round
Italian
straw hat. Yeah, it was kind of like that. It's just cheesy as anything. And I go, hey man, what's up with this dude right here? And Austin goes, well, he's president of the Crazy Shirts Club, and didn't even laugh or nothing, man. And for some reason that I was so exhausted and delirious, I start laughing like crazy after eating all this Buckner's food, right? So I'm engaging a lot of stomach muscles while my stomach is full. And we're start going up the road, and Austin's like, I'm going to drive. So we're going, and I could tell that my full physical laugh situation had created some,
Movement.
some issues with the bowels that was coming quick.
He's pushing things down.
And so I'm like, hey man, pull over. And he's like, I'm not pulling over. We're going home. And I'm like, God dang, dude, if you don't pull over, like I'm going to kill you. And he's like, no, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. And this is at this point, it's getting freaking
You're
urgent.
sweating.
Yes.
Pants unbuttoned.
It's go ahead and
No,
get
feet are-
everything you
your
can
feet
get
are
ready.
sweating.
Go ahead and take your socks off. So
You had to go. You think you're going to like shit yourself in the car. You're trying to get somewhere. And like,
all your mental resources,
Everything
are,
you got.
they're
my
just the
God,
top.
and
my feet
it
are
wasn't going to
sweating.
win. I was never going to win. So he's like, you're just messing with me. You don't need to stop. And he thought it was funny. And dude, I grabbed his face and I yanked his head sideways. He's driving now. And I'm like, look at me. And I still crack myself up. Do I look like I'm kidding? and I'm doing a real serious face, and he laughs even more. And I'm like,
just
pull
kept on
over,
going.
God dang it. I'm throwing every cuss word I got at him, but we made it, thankfully. But it was just like
Pull over to where?
some hotel or something. And I just go flying in the door,
Sir, do you have a?
shit in the flower pot.
I'm going to need a room with a.
Sorry
It's
about
worth
that.
$100. I don't
I'll
care.
pay.
Sorry about your flower pot.
Yeah. And another time, dude, Austin, me and him used to get into some crazy stuff. We went to a race at Gatorback that got canceled. And back then there was no way to say. Undoubtedly they had a flood. We get up to the road that Gatorback's on, and all of a sudden there's just a rows of trucks, trailers, and everybody's standing out of their trucks, and they're like, it got canceled. So we turn around and we head back to Paradise. And we had an XR80 with
The
us.
track called Paradise.
Yeah, Paradise Motocross.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't like
Let's go
kill
back to Paradise,
ourselves. and
boys.
There was like
We're just
50
going back to
virgins.
Paradise.
So, but we had this XR and we had to get a hotel room about halfway back. So we riding that XR all through the hotel, man. I mean, we are going through the lobby. We went into the elevators. They're like, hey, and we'd go into the elevator real quick and hit the button and it'd go up. And we'd be up on the top floor, man, just going down the halls and stuff. XR80, man. I cannot believe they didn't call the police.
How did they not just find you?
Well, so we never after they yelled at us for going through the lobby, we go up in the elevator and then it had an exterior down set of stairs. We rode down those stairs and got it into the trailer before they knew where the heck we went.
I rode a CR250 down 2 flights of stairs from the top floor of a hotel one time. Not cranked. It was in the morning. I just got on it and
Yeah.
coasted down the stairs.
We've
2
all done that.
flights.
We've all had to roll our bikes into our rooms, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for
before
sure.
fuel injection, you've been there. You wake up
I
or
don't feel
don't.
good.
Or don't. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
don't.
maybe you do. Maybe you
Maybe
don't.
the
So the
fumes
fumes just get you.
set the thing on fire.
That's
Yeah.
one bad thing about fuel injected. You don't get to smell. Like if you got a bike full of VP gas in your garage, you walk out every morning, it smells like
That was
race
such
gas.
a good smell, man. Gosh.
And you're going to work and you're like, shit. I
That's
wish I
one
was
of the
road
things
riding.
these, I guess, like, certain aspects, it's not the same. I don't know if these 2-stroke kids, because they all ride 2-strokes, mini bikes or whatever, but do they look at it like, hey, my heroes have this fuel, this oil? Because we had a smell for all our dudes too.
Oh,
we
yeah,
we
for
really
sure.
did. And now it's like, well, they run race gas in a 4-stroke. It's not the same.
No, you can smell it coming out of the can, but you don't smell it coming out of the bike. Like
It's not the same.
Like your garage doesn't smell
Yeah.
like.
What y'all think about Coop's gear, dude? That bright all yellow with just a splash of blue.
I love a clean.
I do too.
Because it's kind of what makes all the old gear iconic.
I know we sound like old dudes, but
God, we're old, man.
But you look at that first turn in like 1989 when they're going in their first turn, all those bright yellow Suzukis with yellow and blue gear, the bright red Hondas with the red and blue gear, the Cowie.
It stands out. When the stuff is too busy, I don't even know what it is. I don't remember it. But you give me just some simple.
Because, and I can't think of anything in particular, but there's been some gear in the last 2 years that I just did. I mean, some of it looks super cool, but there's been some that I was like, that doesn't really work.
No.
You know,
I'm with you.
Selling it.
Yeah. Well, and I think a ton of kids like it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you see the way kids dress; it's all splashy, weird, and just not symmetrical, whatever. So I think I get that.
That stuff that, of course, you know, maybe you're influenced by the fact that he was winning, but like Jet's Alpine Star gear last year. I mean, that's pretty clean gear.
Alpine Stars about
clean.
3 years ago was messy and looked like paint gun splotches.
It's gotten nothing but better.
It's gotten better for sure. They've changed their whole design philosophy for sure.
For sure.
I think they all have it. I mean, obviously they all.
There's cycles
Yeah.
to all that stuff. There was times when it was completely off the rails, like a 91 RM250.
Just think how tight it is now. Though. I'm getting a
the
whole-
tight gear. I'm not down with that. I'm too
It's
fat,
Tommy
man.
Copper gear, dude.
I'm gonna get a
Tommy
skin
Copper.
suit. I'm just gonna start riding into.
Just riding a dry suit or
I
wet
mean, that's
suit.
what Christian Craig had on, literally.
A wetsuit.
It was Tommy Copper, just copper infused
Skin suit.
Yeah.
skin suit.
Skin
It's just a
suit.
condom.
Yeah.
I'm
Prophylactic.
gonna cut one leg out of my like Flojo too. I'll
That's
have a
pretty sweet.
Yeah, that'd be a good
There you go.
idea.
I
Flojo.
just, I
Big
don't know. I'm not
hairy-
down with any
Big
of that.
hairy legs sticking out.
Vet riders can't wear that stuff. They can't wear the skin tight gear. There's very few that can.
Like very few. I mean, even in shape, if you aren't
No.
elite
Once you're a grown man and you got these shoulders,
and things just change,
Yeah.
dude. Like you know what? I want to see a guy run that. I'm talking
I
about
think
a
they
good
do.
average 230 dude.
You can't. I mean,
That's here for a
I
good
think
time.
You
Watch
gotta
sometimes
him
think
they
flip.
those
do.
dudes are $150, man.
And
Like,
that's what I'm saying. I want to see just the average
you
dude.
don't see a 230.
Just get,
You want to
get
see
in it, dude.
80 more pounds than Cooper Webb.
but like Kevin said, a normal 180-pound dude.
Can't even do it.
It doesn't
won't
look
look
right.
Like you could see a dude walking down the street like that dude's fit, but if you put them in the gear that don't lie,
Yeah.
like that junk will
The gear that
show-
don't
it will
lie,
show
dude.
all your flaws, dude.
I
don't
know,
that they,
man.
Yeah, they don't have. I'd look like a sausage case. Do you have this for 220-pound dudes?
The
Like
sausage
I
casing.
don't think.
Put some
Just
Spanx
split
like
it.
inserts in that thing and tighten it up a
Oh,
little
that'd
bit.
be sweet. Yeah, maybe the tight gear could come with Spanx.
Insert tightens everything, and then you slide
Yeah.
it over.
That'd be nice.
Maybe my form would be better if I had on that super tight gear.
What if they had
I wouldn't
form
have
correcting gear? Like they've got stuff that you can wear
Yeah.
behind your back that cinches your shoulders and whatever back. What if they had that just makes you literally you can't get a hamburger without going
like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
posture?
You got
Yeah,
your
And it's got-
elbows
and it
out.
literally your
Really good
fingers
position.
Elbows out. We're eating hamburgers.
No, it does. You can't help
arches
it.
your butt up a little bit, chest facing down the track. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Like consistently the whole time.
Exoskeleton
An
gear. Like,
exoskeleton. If you
Yeah.
could wear that, you could be a great motocrosser. At least look good in the pictures.
I don't know that I'd be great, but I would be better than I am.
You'd look
now.
good in the pictures.
You're like
If
guy-
I didn't have enough room to move around to my shitty form, and I just kind of had to stay.
And then when you get out of it, you're like a melted
Just
candle.
fall
just
into
brrr.
sort of like someone coming off the ventilator.
Or
They
one of
can't
y'all
even
could go to the
breathe.
starting line with me to be so tight. You just put me in the right position.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, get on the balls of your feet. Pooch my butt out a little bit.
And then we just lock it in, and that's
and
where
I
you're
just
stuck.
couldn't move from
Have
there.
you ever had a guy ride for you at a race?
No, I always was honest. I wasn't some big freaking liar and just cheat like that.
Says the guy who told the first story ever about breaking in
Yeah.
to KOA.
That was Calhoun KOA. We saved $5 that day. No, tell me what you're about to tell me though.
Well, I
So-
just remember we had one guy ride for Kyle at a
I
regional.
always thought, I'm lying to you.
At a regional. Tinted
Oh,
goggles.
at a
I'm like, where did you
regional.
get these limo tint goggles?
A regional.
Like, he didn't do any good now. Granted, he wasn't as fast as Kyle, but we're like, dude, we just need some lap. We need a finish here.
Okay. Nope. So I lied to you. When we went to that Motocross of States race, it's in Waldo, Florida. It's like originally each state had you could get 3 riders from Georgia and 3 riders from Alabama, whatever, and everybody would race it. Now it's more of a just name your team. I want to be the Pit Bulls, and we got a team of 3, you know.
I know you want
So
me.
Rhett, AJ, and Grant might have been Rhett, AJ, and a guy named Christian, formed a team, and they were going to race. And AJ landed on Rhett in the first moto or second moto. Seems like it's a 3-moto format.
The
and
teammates.
he's getting life flighted. Yeah, they had a rut going up the face of this tabletop, and some dude with a drone filmed the whole thing. I can show you the video. Rhett goes up the face of the jump.
Rhett being his son.
My son. And jumps hard right.
And his best friend jumped on him.
His best friend jumps on his back. And I can't see this happen. All of a sudden, AJ comes cartwheeling into view, bike just cartwheeling, and he's rolling. And he got up, and I'm like, he's okay. And he never got back in the race. So I go over there, and he's like the color of a dolphin. He's so gray. And I'm like, are you all right? He goes, I'm not all right. And the guy puts him on the 4-wheeler and takes him to my truck. They didn't have an ambulance there. I think they had already were on a run, taking somebody else. And so they had to life flight AJ to University of Gainesville Medical Center. Man, he had a broke back. He had a broken
And he rode a 4-wheeler back?
Yes. And he sat there.
No C-spine?
You know, and his dad's like, give him some Advil. He's fine. I'm like, look, Andy, he's gray, dude.
Yeah.
Andy's gnarly.
He's gray.
Well, the sign said right at your own wrist.
So, yes.
RST.
So because of the wrist, AJ got life flighted. And then they're like, hey, we need a rider for this last race. And I said, hey, I haven't ridden practice. I've been just down here for y'all. And they're like, get your gear on. I'm like,
We need you.
okay.
So you rode for a guy.
So I jump on my bike, and Rhett had to ride AJ's bent up YZ. And
Dang, that's bad.
I said, listen to you.
You're
Listen
built just like a 17-year-old. So
I
I
look
see.
exactly the same as AJ. I mean, he's only 6 pants sizes smaller.
Right. He wears a 28-32.
Right. So I go to the line, and I'm like, look, we've already got one guy in the hospital. We are here to just have fun. And I'm like, I didn't even ride practice. And dude, when that car turned sideways,
This guy.
But I also said to Red, I go, I don't even know, I was like 45. I said, I'm old. If I beat you, because he rode all the time back then, I said, you're going to have major problems from me if I beat you.
Did you beat him?
He rubbed my back tire in every turn the whole way around the track, and he would never come around me.
He's probably scared you're going to put him in the woods.
I'm looking back over each jump. I'm like, what is he doing? Come on, go around me. And he just would not do it. He would not pass me.
What did he say?
Nothing. I go, so you're just going to rub my back tire in every turn and not pass me? It's like, I wasn't going to pass you. I'm like, God, okay.
In therapy,
He was about to force you into like.
They throw my
killing
words
yourselves.
back on me. They're like,
in family therapy, he says he was protecting your fragile ego.
True.
you know, Dad beats me if he don't feel like he's number one. If he's number one in the family, our lives are better.
I was so scared to pass
So
him.
I just couldn't pass him. You know, and they got this big jump down there at Waldo that is just a tabletop, and it's real easy, but it's huge. And I hadn't ridden any practice, and I'm in 4th place off the gate. And I come around to that jump, and I'm like, God, I haven't jumped this yet. Am I really going to hit it first lap? You know, I'm old. I didn't jump at the first lap. I scooted way over to the side, but nobody passed me. I'm like, what the heck? Why didn't 10 kids jump over my head?
Everybody was protecting your fragile
They
ego.
were all, they all went
They're
to
all-
therapy. Rhett was talking about therapy. I'm just like, no.
Just like that. This show is quick, boys.
Well, I mean, obviously, you're hungry, aren't you?
No.
I can see.
I think we've
seem
covered
weak.
enough.
You seem
You seem weak.
depleted.
John had some great chicken fettuccine he was just eating in front of me. Like,
That I cooked. No, it was chicken Alfredo.
Oh.
Yeah. Is that really called fettuccine Alfredo? I guess that's what it would be called, right?
yeah, the noodles are Alfredo.
It had noodles.
The
The sauce is
this
Alfredo.
And fettuccine is
It's
the
the noodles.
noodle. And then you got the chicken.
The
You
pasta.
are like Guy Fieri, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
you're.
pasta. You don't even call them noodles. We're so rednecks. It's the pasta that's with it.
What color?
What kind of scatty did you put in there, boy?
Scatty. He got some
Biscotti.
chickens.
Man,
He
that-
got some chicken scatty.
That
there.
Biscotti was good.
Hey, I was watching Hubert today. He's giving.
He's eating scatty.
No, he goes way over here at the King of the Hills, or Hammers. or
Hammers,
whatever
King of the
hell.
Hammers, dude. That's a
Dude.
legit event.
Oh, he's over there. He goes, well, the trophy cars are coming from that way, and they get to go around this thing here, and we come up around here. The Can-Am's hooking up good and whatever.
There's a kid from here that raced the small bore Polaris class there and was pole. He was on the pole for
From
qualifying.
Paulding?
Yeah, he lives in Paulding County, and I'm just
Wow.
like, where can you practice here that is even remotely similar?
Talking Rock.
I don't think so.
I go up there to Talking Rock.
that
man.
King of the Hammers is-
$200, they'll let you have a whole track.
Yeah, that's a thing, right, Nick? Didn't you say Fannin County?
Fannin County. Yeah.
$200. Kevin,
Prep
I'm just
practice.
me and Kevin are talking. It's like Nick just pays $200, and that way he can just ride by himself.
By himself.
Yeah.
He likes to
told
hear
you.
his bike echo through the holler up there.
Through the holler.
If nobody
Well-
else is there, I don't feel so slow.
That's true. It protects the ego.
Yeah.
Number one in the household.
That's right.
Yeah. Nobody beat me today. Did anybody beat you
I
today,
didn't get
honey?
past, son.
Nobody
passed
beat me today. I was the
That's right.
fastest one there. You
Fastest
say
guy
it
on
with
the-
authority, too.
Fastest guy on the track only cost me 200.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worth every penny. To
As long
plug
as
it.
you don't become a president of the Crazy Shirts Club
That's right.
That's right. I'm
so
down.
far.
You guys good?
We're
All
good.
right, I want to talk for 2 more hours,
I
but
could totally do it.
Yeah.
we'll just go up there in my kitchen and do it and
do
not
it.
record it.
Yeah. That's where the funny stuff happens.
All right, next week, I'm bringing mini bikes galore.
We're gonna load
There
it.
won't even be room for
Just
us.
a new whole background.
Yeah, we'll
Do we
just
have-
swap it out.
What are we already planned something for next week, right?
Next week,
We have some things in the works. We'll
You
see.
said 6th or 8th. Okay. I'm just making sure.
we've got
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot to
yeah,
go
yeah.
over right here, Nicholas. I wrote down every race that we say we're going to. It's
Okay.
a lot.
Are they all the same?
They're
weekend?
all the same weekend.
Look at that.